Today for me, January 28th was pretty interesting. So here it is. I did not wake up for morning period as I was in deep sleep. So first period, I negotiated with my teacher that my presentation was 10 minutes. I'm unwilling to make a new one that's any shorter because I'm trying to speak the language naturally through basic fluency. I value authenticity even if it's linear longer, just over recitation. So I came to a compromise. Show the entire video, but cut it loose and pause it if there's not enough time. Others can watch on their personal time since my name's already stamped on it. Or cut the video short and fit it to class time. So I emailed it and it's public on my YouTube and Instagram if you guys do want to see it. There's going to be a new repost since the other one wasn't as loud. Anyways, right now I can still embed some practice in the video, such as here right now. So, estoy creando un video para el YouTube. Hablo de mí y otras personas. Let's continue. Second period, we did circuit exercises and we passed it fine. I wore sunscreen and using what I learned from third period, the UV rays from my skin hit me, but the energy transferred off of me and was converted to heat and radiated away from my body. Now, I attempted to interact with a girl yesterday that I talked to, but she was and ended up being too busy. Third period, we wrote down notes about energy transfer and how Earth uses three different types of conduction, convection, and radiation about Earth and how its atmosphere works in its role with sunlight, and we did a sketch notes assignment about it. At the end, I talked to my teacher again about the assignment I did for Spanish, which was 10 minutes. He asked me to be more concise, and I agree with that, but there are some differences. In science, I would say something about plate tectonics. I would be as much concise as I would be, and act with precision. But in Spanish, it prepares you for actual real life speaking, so that takes a lot of more time compared to just speaking about the Earth in terms of natural causes. So my teacher here, as he said in that last tangent at the end, he speaks more concisely and academically, but I speak more structurally about real life, so it takes a little bit longer in that case. So fourth period, this time an activity covering about totalitarian assignments, and as if we individually became president, how would we gain support politically? How would we choose to handle our own government and react to others that may also be totalitarian? I took a bit because I covered what I did to gain support on paper, and I didn't join my group until minutes later. So alrighty, I'll post that on Instagram for you guys to see. The idea to gain support is that for less fortunate people who came from or maybe are fleeing a country from persecution or lack of opportunity, we'd allow them to enter the country and expedite the citizenship process under certain conditions they have to follow. The condition is that they must have no time to immigrate. Like they're coming from a country that is dangerous. There's already persecution going on, or if someone's after them, if there's a gang that's after them, and they can't have opportunities for jobs there as a result. Our conditions are that we'd pay 50% or more of their appointment costs and offer temporary housing in a country that's nearby, provided that they follow other terms that I can't list here. We'd expedite citizenship, but they'd still have to pass the same tests from maybe 20 years up to 10 years or less for waiting time. And when I did present it in front of the teacher with my group, the other group members told me that I use higher vocabulary, so I know they said it's good that they add me to the group. So, anyways, lunch period. Told the teacher next period that there would be students late, but they said something that they didn't mean to, and we both laughed it off really hard before I entered inside the building. I got the note card that she gave to me, and I wrote down the lesson for the that the preacher said. So I attended Jesus Club. I went through another interesting situation. I sat alone, but then again, another place of me wanted to interact with others, while another place of me wanted to just sit down and relax alone. The thing is that my social bandwidth was thin, and instead I decided to sit with a bunch of random people and try to make friends with them. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, sadly. So during the club, the preacher was talking about life, and someone said, "What's up?" loudly, and the preacher said something about waking up to God in struggle, and the club went silent, and some giggled as one of the people in the attending said, "What's up?" So again, later on, someone said, "I'm trying to remember," and the preacher said, "Someone's thinking out loud." I'm saying it generically here, but in the moment, it was funny. People laughed. So got the lesson now. The preacher said something sharp. Life is loud, fighting for your attention, drama, jobs, taxes. People want it, the government wants it, and it's important. But if you give all your attention to it without God, then there may be problems. He said that even in struggle, we must trust in God. We have blessings, we have people. Even in struggle, we must trust in Him because He knows our story even before we do, before we're even in our mother's womb. He said that even in as we go through things, we must trust that God, because in Him, you'll have better days coming forward. I find today's lesson interesting because it proves something about determinism. What if your story's already pre-written? What if the struggle that you are seeing, or maybe the judgments that you are making, what if it is forming you? If this is something, my God, and the lesson that I take from this is that this is not just my guardian angel by my side watching me right now, but God is helping us take the steps. So just hold on. Now, fifth period, we are late, obviously, and the teacher kept questioning me about the wishing well and why I keep giving them coins. I said that we will have enough money at the end of the year to buy popcorn as a result of the students being late. She questioned me and why I have so much change, a large collection at home. So in the assignments, we read about Lord of the Flies, and I got super confused about an assignment regarding filling out information about the characters and drawing a map. The issue I had is I didn't know what to format the map of the island. Is it something that was literal with a picture of boys and maybe a detailed crash of the plane and its scar? Maybe something that's literal, like looking as if you're taking a picture of an island? Or maybe was it an overhead format? Do I have to like actually draw the crash at itself, but actually draw like the landscape of the mountains around it? And I got confused because the teacher said it can be anything, but I was still confused. Am I supposed to draw in the literal format, like maybe like a mini snapshot of a picture of the boys, a crash plane, and them talking about something? Or do we draw like a layout of the map overhead from like the sun's view, the sky's view? So eventually, I was confused, but I did at home along informational assignment I had to do. Sixth period, right before class started, I already have completed 6 problems before earlier during the day, so I copied the other 6 problems before class started. The teacher always does a recap of the lessons before. I already know this stuff, so I skipped ahead in a car in an HOV lane like that, and I did the rest of the problems as the teacher was recapping the lesson. After school, not much happened today. I was just in a hurry. I didn't attend the library today since I did need to recalibrate my socialness. Tomorrow, I'll be ready. The only issue regarding school dynamics is that within morning period, and other periods during the day, I still raise that I still don't have a permanent friend group within these. I emotionally say that is that during morning period, during periods where I do have free time, how much rotating friend groups do I really have to do until I find the group that I'm looking for? The issue is I partially believe that some of the groups before I joined, they assumed that I was a rotator, like another person within the school, and switching friend groups over and over. They falsely assume that I rotate like others, but I am not. I am genuinely trying to find a friend group during the times that I do find free time. Thankfully, I have one during lunch, but why am I constantly getting structurally abandoned by the people around me? Why do people keep thinking that I am a rotator? I am not. And lunch period, I found one, as I said, thankfully, but morning period, PE period, during free time, during all the times that I'm free, why am I structurally lonely? I just need someone to settle with, just someone to talk to. The thing is that there's so many people around me, but no one wants to seem to connect directly. And I argue that it shouldn't be difficult just to find one. Like, I am not a rotator. People can conflate me with being someone being a rotator, but I am not a rotator. I'm not looking to be someone who wants to rotate, but I am forced to rotate because some of the friend groups that I have visited have constantly and structurally abandoned me. And it's not something that they hate me, but it's something that they themselves don't even realize. And I'm not a rotator. You can see it by the line and videos that I am building.